Okay, there we go. So again, welcome. Welcome to our fifth day of Yule. Here we're going to be connecting with our inner child and with the child archetype and see how that plays into this season that we are in. So let us get started with our opening question to reflect on what is one of your favorite childhood holiday or winter memories. So thinking back to the time around Christmas or whatever holiday you might have celebrated in the winter, this Yuletide season, or just thinking about winter in general, things that bring back a good memory for yeah, what happened in your childhood. Um, so I was thinking about this question. You can let me know in the chat. You can share your own. I'm going to share mine. It's just a random memory came up for me whenever I was thinking about this question, and it was when like the first big snow would arrive in the winter, and I had these like really chunky socks, and I would always wear two pairs of socks, but I would like say they were purple and blue. On the one foot, I would put purple on the inside, then blue on the outside, and then I'd fold the top so that then like the top was the inside color, and I'd do the opposite on the other one, put blue on the inside and purple on the outside, and then fold it. And I don't know why that just like came to me as a memory. And that's how I would always wear my socks when I went outside to play in the snow. I'm not sure why I did that, but it was a bit of my creative spirit that came through in my winter attire. Um, okay, remember enjoying picking on a tree when we used to get real ones, the smell, the joy of people around. Yes. Hello, KS. We're just sharing some childhood holiday or winter memories that we have. Coming back from midnight mass with parents and siblings through the snow with icy air touching our cheeks. Love this. Yeah. I also loved growing up. We also went to the midnight church service. And like lighting all the candles. You like light your candles one by one. So like in a row, everybody would like, you'd light your candle from the person beside you. And so it was like this weaving of like the lighting of the candles throughout the church, and then they would shut all the lights off. Yeah, and then when you were finished, you walk outside, and it was like it was always lovely when it snowed, right, at that time. Yeah, that's a beautiful memory as well. We always went to my grandpa's church, so that was really sweet. Remember decorating our tree. It was a beautiful mess of homemade ornaments that we made as kids. Yeah, that's really cool. Mm. Yeah, when I was growing up, Christmas, our family Christmas, and my whole extended family always came to our house for Christmas. We'd go to my aunt's house for Thanksgiving, and then everybody would come to our house for Christmas. And so it was like this big party with all of my cousins, all of the kids playing around. We'd play games, we'd sing songs, we'd eat really good food. It was always a fun time. Makes me really nostalgic. And yeah, a little bit mournful that I don't have any of those things in place now. Let's see. KS. As a kid, waking up to the cake cutting part after the midnight mass with my grandparents and relatives, Christmas mass. That's so funny, KS. My spouse was just asking me this morning, "Are you gonna buy a cake for tomorrow?" And I was like, "In my culture, we don't buy cake." And he's like, "But it's Jesus's birthday. Like, why don't you buy a cake?" And that's just something I didn't realize that until I came here to India, when I moved to India, and everybody would ask me, "Are you eating cake on the 25th for Jesus's birthday?" Um, I was like, oh, I had never thought of that until I moved to India. Hmm. Yeah, for those of you just arriving, we're just sharing childhood memories of holiday or winter time. Yeah, exactly. Hmm. Maybe some people do that in the States. Do any of you, or in Europe or other places, do any of you get a cake? Do you get a cake? Do you eat cake on Christmas Day if you celebrated Christmas? It was just not a thing we did. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all for sharing your childhood memories, already connecting in with some of that joy and magic that we saw as children at this time. Mm. So yeah, I'm gonna share a little bit about the connection between children and Christmas and the holiday and this time of year. Then we're going to do a meditation to connect to, a lot of inner child meditations. We're doing the work to sort of like heal the child, work on our shadow side, and these sorts of things. But today we're going to do it to sort of activate our joy and our play. So we're going to be doing an inner child meditation too. Yeah, bring in that magic and freedom and life that children can bring at this time. And then at the end, I'll share just a few simple rituals that you could do today to connect into that. My mom used to make Christmas cake back in the day, but it's typically a dense fruit cake with marzipan, which I have never liked. Yeah, that's sort of like a Christmas joke in the States. You give fruit cake to people you don't like very much because nobody really enjoys it. But it's everywhere here in India. It's like as soon as Christmas time comes around, they sell fruit cake at like every little shop on the street, which I always found really funny when I came here. Hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna try and make this a little shorter today because I know for those of you that do celebrate Christmas, you might want to go on your way for Christmas Eve today. So connecting in this energy of children at this time of year. I found this really interesting article that I read, like, why do we give gifts to children on Christmas? And what I found um, is kind of upsetting, but yeah, I'm just gonna share it, some of the reasons behind it, and we can look into that. But it started, at least what I found was it was centered on the States. So for those of you that are in the States, and maybe this is how it has translated to some other places as well, but they started giving gifts to children. Oh, actually, no, the article said it started in England. It started in England in the early 19th century. And it kind of went along with the Industrial Revolution. So, pre-Industrial Revolution, while the cultures were very much agricultural and working on the cycle, right? The agricultural cycle, this time of year in December would have been a downtime, right? It's after all the harvest has been reaped, been harvested, and you have this pausing period in the winter before you start to, till the land, sow the seeds in the spring. So, pre-industrial revolution, when people were working with these cycles, this time of Christmas or at some point in the winter, around Yule, the solstice, this sort of energy would be a time that the landowners would put on a big feast for the servants that were working on the land, any slaves that were, on the land, on that land, um, and any poor people that couldn't like really afford to have like nice food and things. So then these landowners would put on these big feasts and you know in their abundance, in the plenty of the harvest, like have this feast for these people, and that had worked to make that food, right, to make that harvest happen. And then the Industrial Revolution happened. So then the culture changed from an agricultural cycle to, this more linear 24/7 sort of work environment in manufacturing and factories and that sort of thing. So what happened was the wealthy and the elite, and this was happening in New York City that I found at the beginning of the 1800s, so that early 19th century. They were really afraid as the population was growing. They were afraid that if people were celebrating out in the streets, like this idea of like the slaves and the servants and the poor, if they were celebrating out in the streets with this feast that had been part of their tradition, then they were afraid that they would start protesting and uprising, and that especially those that were working in factories that didn't get the day off would protest and say like, we're not going to work, we're going out in the streets and celebrating with our people. And so the wealthy and elite did not like that prospect, and they made a really big push to shift shift Christmas into and shift this time of year into a time to be with family and to be at home. So they did a lot of push and like advertising towards children, of giving gifts to children, and the parents were also happy about this to keep their children, at home, the growing middle class at that time. And so that's kind of where like our modern practices nowadays were born out of this energy when the cultural shift happened from agricultural to industrial. So I found that very interesting, especially as, I'm a cyclical living guide. And so I am working to support these rhythms of the cycle, right? Of that agricultural cycle with the earth as well. And so to find that a lot of the modern practices were based as culture was moving towards linear living, I found that really interesting. But it caught on, it took on, and it kind of went from there. And like capitalism has just been fueling it since then. Um, and yeah, so that's sort of how gift giving to children, and the celebration moving into the home and family oriented, which is not all bad. Like I think it's really beautiful, and I have those beautiful memories of being with my family on Christmas and at this time. Mm. Oh, you're welcome, Lucy. Mm. Um, Another thing that happened during this time, yeah, the stress that people go through for gift giving, because it has been set up as there's been such a precedent set up, right? And it's sort of like you're like pushed to keep going bigger and better every year, right? And I think it would be beautiful if we could have a movement back towards like looking more at like the meaning behind it. Like, what is the meaning behind these gifts? And can we give gifts with meaning if we want to, and if we want to be a part of that? Give gifts with meaning and, gratitude and joy instead of just giving things for giving things, right? Um, that would be a really beautiful moment. Yeah, I have one nephew. There's no other children, and I don't have children, and my sister only has one. And so I only have one nephew, and I put money in an investment account for him. His birthday is also in December, and so that's my gift for him. It's not very meaningful, but hopefully, he's got some crypto sitting in an account waiting for him when he gets older. Um, Give gifts spontaneously instead of saving it for a day. Yeah, I haven't given Christmas gifts in a few years now. It just got all too much. Yeah, I've also stopped as well. Definitely. Yeah, I'm just looking how it makes you feel. Like if it makes you feel stressed out, why are you doing it? If it makes you feel filled with joy and abundant, then yeah, go for it. That's why I've always like turned away from Valentine's Day as well because I'm like, I feel like they just made it up so that they put pressure on us to do something special or give something special to, our significant people. And I'm like, I'm not buying into that. Anyways, I could do a whole other live on those topics. But the other thing that put children sort of front and center at this time was the story of Hansel and Gretel. So Hansel and Gretel, written in 1812 by the Brothers Grimm. And then it became very popular when it was turned into an opera that was first performed December 23rd, 1893. And then it became sort of like a yearly opera that would happen around this time every year at the end of December. And this is why we make gingerbread houses now, because of this opera and the story of Hansel and Gretel. I did not know this until I was researching it today. So if you don't know the story of Hansel and Gretel, like they went out into the forest to, I think, pick strawberries, like wild strawberries, to bring home to their mother. And they ate so much as they were going along that they had to travel further to find enough strawberries to bring back home to their mother. And what happened was, like night, it got dark, it turned to night. They realized, like, we can't get back home. They fell asleep in the woods. They woke up and then they were really hungry because they had been out all night. And so as they were going back, they saw this house that was made out of candy and gingerbread, and they started eating it because they were hungry. And then the witch came out and tried to bake them, and they tricked the witch and ended up putting her in the furnace and saving all of the children that had been turned into gingerbread. And so now, sort of like a paradox, we make gingerbread houses to remind us that to not eat too much sugar, or we might get kidnapped and eaten by the scary witch. So there's a lot in the collective consciousness to unfold there, but we'll just stick with this theme of how another like story became central to this Christmas time and turned into a ritual that a lot of people do, making gingerbread cookies, gingerbread houses at this time. Um, yeah. Other things, yeah, you're welcome, Chaos. I find them really interesting. I love when I can like see connections to things like, why are we doing this right now? And we can like see the history and the connections that came through. It's really helpful for me. So I'm glad that you enjoy that. I don't have any more detailed stories, but just like the other things I was thinking about, and you can help me out. What are some other things that the energy of children brings to this time of year and brings to the holidays and brings to Christmas and Yule? Um, so yeah, let me know what that energy is and maybe connect it to things you have done. So I thought of um, things like sled riding, ice skating, making angels in the snow, or making like snow people when it's snowing. The children bring the magic. Yeah, joy, newness, fresh eyes, definitely. But why is it specific to what are those specific things that are come to this time of the year? Um, was I thinking like telling stories? So thinking about like all of the Christmas stories that have been and winter stories that have been created for children that bring a lot of magic to this time. Glitter and twinkliness. Oh, I like that one. Millie, thanks for sharing that. Yeah. And I was thinking like because this is Because this is an in-between, it's an in-between time. It's a downtime. At least for those of us, I should say, for those of us in the northern hemisphere, right? When we're in winter, if you're in a place that's cold, that this is sort of a time to pause, a time to rest, right? Which we've already gone through some of that in our other days that we've been through. Um, and really thinking, like, and children are usually like off of like school is out during this time. And so there's a lot of engagement for them, a lot of things that we are connecting with the children at this time because we are, yeah, in this moment to pause and reflect. Snow globes magic. Oh, I forgot about snow globes. I love snow globes when I was younger. What else they bring? Hope, imagination, yes. Wonder, appreciation. Used to wake up to morning fog and was such an awe. Yeah. Seem to channel that even now. I go, life is beautiful. Yeah. For me, that was snow under the moonlight at night. So it was like at night and quiet when most everybody was asleep and it had snowed, that snow that like it hasn't been touched yet, it's just like the blanket of snow and how it twinkles in the moonlight. I love that. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna go into our meditation. Caroling parties. Yeah, caroling. I forgot about that as well. Yes, it's a beautiful thing. Um, used to carol with my when I was part of the ooh, when I was a Christian and in the church, we used to go with our youth group. Is that what it's called? Yeah, we used to go caroling with our youth group. Um, Oh, you saw that in Germany, KS. Yeah, snow is pure magic. I really miss it. I don't remember the last time I saw snow. Hmm. Oh, the last time I saw snow, that might have actually been in Kashmir. That was quite a few years ago. Hmm. We have a summer Christmas, and it was just awesome. Fun summer games, barbecues outside, Christmas markets. Yeah. Yeah, I've never experienced a summer Christmas. I always thought that would be very interesting. And I think it's like it's this time at holidays, right? And really like these big holidays. So this, for a lot of us growing up in more westernized countries, having Christmas as being like the biggest holiday of the year means that there's a lot of time off for a lot of people, a lot of time off from work, time off from school, and all of that. And so that just, yeah, it like allows a break from some of the routine and allows a break from the mundane of day to day where we can enter into some of that energy of, just playfulness and curiosity and exploration because there's a bit more freedom during that time, isn't there? Hot cocoa, yeah, still, I had my hot cocoa this morning. It's been a drink I've loved since a child. Dressing up as angels when we played Christmas skits in school. That was fun. Oh yeah, we always did like the nativity scene in church. Yeah. The warm weather amplifies the holiday mood and all the stores selling Christmas things. You just know it's festive time and people are usually more cheerful. Yeah, that's really beautiful. Hmm. Okay, so we are going to drop into our meditation to connect with our all of the lovely things that you have all shared, that hope and inspiration, the joy and playfulness, the newness, the twinkliness. We're going to connect that to our inner child as we explore our childlike spirit within. My new favorite festive drink is golden milk with turmeric. Yeah, I really do like golden milk with turmeric as well. I didn't connect it to a festive drink. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So when you're ready to drop into our meditation, you can go ahead and find a place of stillness. And if it feels All right, for you, you can go ahead and close your eyes as well. And first, you're just going to come into an awareness of what your body is holding in this present moment. So noticing if there are places where you feel tense, places where you feel stress in your body, and just bringing some gentle awareness to those parts of you, allowing them to soften and relax. Just taking a few moments to do this as you're scanning your body from head to toe and from toe to head. A lot of times when we are trying to armor ourselves from the outside world, from the things that might harm or hurt us, we store that physically in our body, in those places that knot up when your muscles knot up, when you get really tense, feeling those cramps and creaks in your body. We're going to enter a space that you can hopefully start to soften and release a bit of that armoring here. So if you want to imagine coming into your heart space, and if you saw your heart space in its armor or in any walls you have built up from the outside world, any walls you've built up to protect yourself from being hurt or harmed, just imagine what that looks like in your heart space right now. And we're going to connect in with this magic of snow, if that is magical for you, or maybe rain, a magical rain, or magical snow. And imagining this falling upon you, entering into that heart space. And it's beginning to melt away some of this armor, some of these walls you have put up. And as this magical snow or rain continues to fall, you're noticing that time is reversing. You see yourself from this present day begin to get younger and younger. As you see those pieces of the wall and the armor that you have built up in these years, they are melting and dissolving as this time is being reversed. And allowing yourself to journey back in your time as a child. Journey back to a place where your innocence was whole, before you felt the need to armor yourself to the world. So allowing that magical snow and rain to continue to melt the armor and walls down until you are back to that child self. And then once you find that self, just taking in the image. What age are you? Are you wearing any specific clothing? Your hairstyle? Are you in a specific place? In an environment that feels familiar? Are you doing anything? Any sort of activity? And just observing this child within you, full of innocence. And connecting in to those qualities that are at the surface with this child. Look at the playfulness that they bring. Look at the joy shining on their face. Look at the hope sparkling in their eyes. Observe them being spontaneous. Curiously moving and looking around as they are discovering new things every moment. And the trust that they have to share this open-heartedness, this heart that has been de-armored, this heart that is just ready to love freely. And this embodiment, where they are not worried about what other people think of them, what other people are saying about them. They're not worried about comparing, not worried about, where money is going to come from, not worried about work stresses, like nothing. They are embodying this freedom to just be in the moment. And from this open-hearted space, if you were to ask your child self, how can I embody this joy, this light, this playfulness, whatever word is most present for you? How can I embody this today? How can I be more like you today? And allowing that message to come through. Maybe it's a phrase or words. Maybe it's an image. Maybe it's not clear at the moment. Just trusting that it will come to you at the right time. And saying gratitude for this child, for their presence within you, and what they might have shown you in this journey right now. Sharing your gratitude. Thank you for showing our joy within. Thank you for showing my hope that I can hold on to. Thank you for showing me how I can play and be free. Thank you for showing me how I can see things with new eyes and be curious. Thank you for bringing more light and love and open-heartedness within me. And then feel that energy in your heart space, within your physical body right now. Maybe you feel an expansion in your chest in that heart space. Maybe you feel a warm sensation. Maybe you feel tingling. Just noticing what you are feeling. What physical felt sensations do you have within you? And then maybe you want to place your hands on your heart space. Physically feel that part of you still with your heart de-armored, with the walls that have melted down to nothing. In this space where you are ready and freely willing to love and care for those around you and for yourself. And to end, we're just going to take 3 deep breaths into this heart space as we continue to expand that sensation. So just taking a deep inhale, expanding it into your heart space, and exhaling, letting that go. And a second breath, breathing into the heart space, filling yourself with joy, and exhaling, letting it go. And for the last breath, taking the deepest breath you have taken all day, letting that heart space just open wide, ready to share the love. And as you exhale, gently allowing yourself to come back, your consciousness to come back to the present moment. You want to bring your body by moving your toes, moving your fingers. When you feel ready to do any other movement with your body, and breathing your eyes open when that feels right for you. Hmm. Hmm. Ah, that felt so, I felt so, I can't even quite find the words for it. It felt really light. I'm actually finding myself getting a little teared up, but that was like, yeah, like just, I think it's just what I needed. I'm struggling to find words just to feel a bit lighter and more free and more joy. Amy, yes, I am recording this. I'm recording this whole live session, and I'll be putting it up on my YouTube channel when I'm finished eating dinner tonight. So, I could possibly record, yeah, I can possibly turn that into a meditation. I'll see how well the recording is, but um when I upload it to YouTube, then it has the timestamps. If you just want to do the meditation, there'll be a timestamp there that you can just go right to the meditation, if you just want to do that. So, in a couple hours from now, it should be up there, and I hope it supports you to you have that real, authentic relationship. Well, thank you, April. Oh, I'm so glad that your younger self came through. Mm. Yeah, please share. Please share any reflections that came through, anything that you felt in your body for that. Love to just have some reflections here so that we can all witness each other in our community here and yeah, share a bit more love and joy with one another. Holidays present me with heightened anxiety. Even today, it was hard to feel the joy within. Yeah, it was so heartwarming. Oh, connecting to my childlike energy feels reassuring to enjoy the holidays again. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the older I have gotten, just like the amount of stress and just like the weight, right, that you can feel. Um, yeah, around this time and like entering into some of those childlike aspects can help bring some more lightness to the season. Thank you for the donation, Cassia. Any other reflections? Anybody receive a message? How I will ask you all the question. You can share either if it came through in your meditation or just in general. Thinking about how you can bring more joy and play into your day to day or in the rest of, for the rest of this coming week or the end of the year, into the new year. What's some sort of, yeah, intention or affirmation that you can connect with to bring in more joy and play? I'd love to hear that. Um, Really enjoyed the visit to the younger self. Saw myself playing on playgrounds, playing freeze tag. Oh, I forgot about freeze tag. Yeah, that was so fun. Felt so light, joyful, and fun. Yeah. Feeling reborn. The past is let go of. There is a new view for the coming year. Beautiful. Yeah. I'm trying to think in for myself. What is, yeah, something that I would like to connect with more joy and playfulness. I might have to sit with that one for a little bit. But I do have some simple rituals that we could do to connect to this childlike self today, if you would like to do that. So, one of the first ones is making a gingerbread house or gingerbread cookies. Like I shared, you can also do that along with reading the story of Hansel and Gretel, if you would like to do that. Do that for yourself, do that with any children that are around. That would be beautiful. You could have a story time, especially if you are with, family or loved ones that have known you since you were a child. It could be really beautiful to have like a story time where you share memories and stories from when you were children, and just the things that you can reconnect with in that energy. Um, you can also read a children's story or watch a kid's like Christmas movie. Like I shared, one of my favorite Christmas movies is The Muppets Christmas Carol. And so I might watch that. And that used to be my sister and I, that was our Christmas Eve tradition. We would always watch The Muppets Christmas Carol on Christmas Eve. So that's something you can do. You could go out, and if you're in a place that celebrates Christmas and people put up all their lights, you could go on a Christmas light trek. So, traveling around to see everybody's lights that are out. I always find that really, really magical. My partner and I did that here in India. We do that on Diwali, and so we went out just to look at everybody's lights on Diwali, all the fairy twinkle lights. You could put a picture of your child self. So, at a time when you felt this, joy and playfulness and lightness, you could, if you have an altar, you can put a picture of your child self there, or just go through old photos as well of yourself as a child, and connecting in with that energy. And the last thing is just do something for fun. Just do something for fun. Have a little bit of playfulness and something that brings you joy today to connect to that energy. Hmm. Okay. Just wrote a list of this before this session. Oh, braiding my hair. Yeah. Wow. I used to braid my hair all the time. I was a gymnast for a really long time, and that was always the way I put my hair up whenever I would go to competitions and things, I would always braid my hair. Experimenting with crazy colored textured fabrics and making dresses for myself. Oh, beautiful. I always used to do that when I was a kid too. My grandparents had an embroidery, like a machine embroidery business, so they always had like these leftover fabrics and things in my me and my sister and my other cousin, we would always put the fabrics together and make like these really fun and ridiculous outfits. It was so much fun. Thank you all for sharing these, because they're like bringing back memories for me too, which is lovely. So yeah, like sharing in these memories, we can bring back that feeling of nostalgia for all of us, and for our collective. Um, yeah. Okay, I saw my current and younger selves together at the beach. Beautiful. Young grabbed for present me's hand and said, "It's easy." Oh, I mean, like, even when I just read that, like I felt the weight lift. It's easy. Yeah, it doesn't have to be so hard. We don't have to make it so hard on ourselves. Thank you for sharing that, Kay. I needed that medicine from you today. Oh, Lucy, you also love the Muppets Christmas Carol. We have a lot of things that we like in common. I have been noticing. Um, I love it. Oh, hi, Rocio. You'll be spending Christmas with your children. We'll have so much fun. Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. It's okay to not accommodate everyone's needs from time to time. You needing you is not selfish, rather self-care. Have fun, love is your takeaway. Oh, that's beautiful. Yes. Yes. Yeah, because right, as children, there's not this expectation that they need to really do anything for anybody else, right? There's this energy that they have a freedom in that. They don't have as many responsibilities. So that is still available within you. And we can just come back to those, those responsibilities that are necessary, and then in the other times take some time to play and be free. Yeah. Hmm. Any suggestions for me to reframe celebrating food and drink? Shift from abstaining to celebrating Christmas this way. Oh, interesting. I don't feel deprived, but I haven't quite transitioned fully into celebrating food and drink that way. A bit hesitant that fun will lead to relapse, life, or death for me. Yeah. Exploring one word to set my intention, new words. My word is ease. Okay. Amy, yeah. I feel like what if you took that intention? I know you said you arrived late, so if you do go back and listen to the meditation, once it's uploaded, I wonder if you took that question into the meditation and allowed your inner child self to come to you with a message or an answer for that. Because I feel like your inner child might have a way better answer than I might be able to form in this moment of how you yourself can celebrate in that feast aspect, right? Um, yeah. Hmm. Because all I can really share is what I do, and it's not that exciting, I guess. For me, like celebrating with food is just having something that's special that I don't normally have, and something that's really special that I don't normally have, or something that like at the moment here in India, these past couple years, I found this one restaurant and this one dish that is just like my favorite, above above and beyond everything. And so during a special time, that's what I always order. And so it's sort of like a ritual of like this dish to me represents a celebration because I'm always having it at these special times, when I'm marking something that is something to celebrate. So, what was the first thing? Having something special that I don't usually have at all. Having something special that I have like as a ritual during celebrations. And the third one would be having something that connects me to my past, either like my ancestry or to my own childhood, like foods and things that I grew up with that have a more symbolic meaning because of, who I was eating that food with, like as a child or from my ancestral lineage. So those are just three different ways that I find a connection between celebrating and that idea of feasting. Um, yeah. Mm. Okay, I'd be spending Christmas with my inner child. Moved out of state. It's my first time without family or friends. Yeah, it can be hard. Joanna, yeah, I've been here in India for 12 years, and I think I've been home for Christmas twice, maybe three times in the last 12 years. And not I don't know anybody in my community here where I live that celebrates Christmas. So I've kind of had to make my own thing, and now um, I do certain rituals and things, and usually I've moved a lot of my things to the solstice day, and spending it with my online community now. So, if you want to spend Christmas with me, I will be here tomorrow for our next live. We'll be talking about of the light energy and the sun and um, some of the Christmas stories that are connected to the rising sun. So you can come and spend some time with me. Um, okay. Yes, I also got some tingles when I said it's easy. Ah, lovely. Um, as a child, I was working and paying for everything at 9 years old. I came in at this point and felt freedom of abundance. Beautiful. Yeah. A Colombian soup my grandmother used to make every Christmas. Oh, that sounds so lovely. Yes. Mm, beautiful. April, same time tomorrow that we started. It's the same time every day for this series. So about 1 hour previous to right now. Yeah, so tomorrow will be our sixth day. It'll be halfway through our 12 days of Yule. We'll be connecting into that energy of light and how that shows up in a lot of the history. There's a lot of history for tomorrow. I'm gonna try and make it not, I always say I'm not gonna make it long, and then I always end up being here an hour. I'm going to try and make it a little bit shorter. That's my intention for tomorrow for those of you that will be celebrating. But if you just want to come in for a few moments and then have to go, that's also fine. Um, yeah, and then I don't remember what is the day after that. Um, oh, it might be the day of balancing where we're going to do a movement meditation. I'm really looking forward to that. I haven't done much movement on here. I have training in dance movement therapy, and I haven't done a lot of that here on Insight Timer, so I'm excited to do that as well. Um, yes. Yeah, same. I've also moved away from Christianity and from my family and culture that celebrated Christmas. So connecting with the solstice energy has been really a blessing for me as well. And I like how it can be applied through many different cultural experiences and celebrations at this time as well, and with that energy of the ending of one year and the beginning of the next as well. So yeah, if you're not already following me here, you can go ahead and do that by clicking on my profile and hitting the follow button, and then you can see all of my upcoming lives on my profile here, and we'll have um, seven more days of connecting with our days of Yule together. And there's some good ones coming at the end. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of our time together. Mm, just reading your message here, Amy. Thank you for um, sharing so much of yourself, being vulnerable in that. Hmm. Yeah, and then holding space for others that might have gone through similar experiences in the past. It's really beautiful. Oh, thank you, Millie. I am glad I'm here too. Hmm. Yeah, so um thank you to those that have donated. If you would like to donate, it's greatly appreciated with gratitude. And I just really I love holding this space for all of you and all of your comments and engagements and following me, leaving reviews, giving donations. All of that is just sort of like yeah, it's letting me know that I am appreciated here, and that the medicine that I'm able to give to this space is needed for you all. So I receive all of that with deep gratitude and appreciation for you being a part of our collective and our community. Well, thank you for saying that, April. Yes, and a Merry Christmas Eve for all of you that are celebrating. And I will be able to say Merry Christmas to you tomorrow if you come and join us. Um, oh, I'm so glad, Amy. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm gonna send you off, and yeah, just encouraging you connect into that child self within you. Hopefully seeing this day, this season with newness and curiosity and awe, and bringing in some joy and playfulness that you can. Because I think we all could use just a little bit more freedom and lightness, couldn't we? So I hope you have a beautiful Christmas Eve if you celebrate, and a beautiful rest of your day for today. And I will see some of you again tomorrow.